Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sale. Is this a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hey, everybody. Look what it is. It's another episode of Your Dog Companion. You can probably tell, if you've watched this thing in the past, that we are not where we normally are. We are not in the nurturing biosphere of the mothership. No, we are on the road today. We are at Riders Field in Frisco, where tonight the Frisco Rough Riders take on the Springfield Redbirds.
Yeah. Oh, I forget Ashley has applause. She's taking my job now, too.
Are you just happy that I got through that okay, or what?
I mean, I was just more talking about how great it was that we were here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. It is great that we're here.
Yeah, what
I'm
do we
glad
have
to be
going on here?
Yeah, well, looks like a baseball game about to unfold.
Well, it's not only that, it's Texas Rangers night, Shoopy.
It is Texas Rangers night. All the more reason for you to get out here, support the Rangers, support the Rough Riders, just support stuff.
Pick up yourself a Kumar Rocker bobblehead.
Ooh, Kumar Rocker bobblehead.
We got a little preview, and we got a couple in advance, and they are sweet.
Are they?
He's literally sitting in a rocker.
Is he really?
Yeah.
It's in the studio.
It's a whole thing.
It's so cool. We saw it.
That's awesome.
With Marty Turco.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then tomorrow night, we got Bluey night with Mac Engel and Victor Villalba.
They'll be out here with me.
All right.
Yeah. Got a little.
So we're bringing the Engel out here, are we?
Yeah, and half of El Maximo.
Yes, that's right. So come out here and check those boys out. Come out here tonight and stop by where are we here?
The Bull Moose Saloon.
The Bull Moose Saloon is where you will find us tonight. And we'd like it very much if you just walk by here and give us the knowing nod like, yes, I know who you are. I've seen your scene. I know what you're up to.
But don't talk to us.
No, don't talk to us.
We are not friendly people.
No,
that's not what we're known for.
We're not friendly people, and we're going to be too busy talking amongst ourselves.
Right. We hardly ever get to hang out.
I know.
Yeah.
Shoopy is here.
I'm here.
And look who we have on the other side here. We have Rush Olson.
Yeah.
With us. All right, Rush, we got to delve into who you are, why you're here,
That's right, group.
how we know each other, and all that stuff.
We were exploring that, and Mike and I have known each other since the late 90s when I worked at Channel 39, back when they carried Rangers games, Stars games, and the like. And you were at this one radio station over there down in the Oak Lawn area. And then obviously continued to know each other because I went to work for the Rangers and Stars after that.
That's right. So he's been around. I've been around. Our orbits have done this, and occasionally they've done this. And today they're doing this again.
Hell yeah.
In a very destructive way, it appears.
Yeah.
Yeah. As he has deigned to join us on Little YDC. Thank you very much for this, man.
I'm so excited to be here.
How did you get roped into this?
Well, a friend of a friend said that y'all might want someone to come and make you look good by comparison in terms of sports knowledge. And I said, well, I am exactly the Nimrod you need.
Yeah.
You're going to make me look bad.
Yeah, we had someone that was originally going to be part of this, and turned out they couldn't quite read their schedule right because apparently their calendar is just full enough that they got their 2 dates to get out of the house mixed up.
You might not call him out, but I will, Grego.
Yeah, Grego kind of forgot that I believe it's his niece's graduation is tonight when he thought it was yesterday. Apparently he might have shown up to that graduation yesterday, or where the graduation was being held and
Found
saw
nothing
that
going
nobody
on.
was there. Yeah.
So I've known Grego basically as long as I've known Rhines.
Right?
Do you think, have y'all entertained the possibility that in fact what happened was maybe he and I connected and I said, look, I would get me on that podcast.
Any
And he
means
said,
necessary.
I got it. I got the niece thing, excuse. I got you.
That's beautiful.
I don't know if y'all have thought about that, but that
possible.
could be the way
It's a
it went
great,
down.
it's
Yeah.
a great story, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I doubt very seriously that happened. That seems totally implausible.
Whatever.
But you know,
But you don't know that, do you?
no, I don't know that.
No.
It's a big world out there. Stuff can happen. I know that. I understand that. So, armed with that information and against that backdrop, we play on.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing with yourself these days, man? We haven't talked in a long time.
I do. So probably the stuff you might have actually seen have been creating sports documentaries. So I have a couple right now on Victory Plus, the Dallas Stars network.
Yep.
We've got a soccer docuseries on there called Raising Her Game. It traces the concurrent rise of women's soccer or women's sports and soccer in this country through the eyes of the University of Texas soccer team.
Oh.
Fascinating project. Worked
You
on
know,
it
if
for
you
over
want
a
to go
year.
to TCU, I feel like we're the better choice.
Well, here's what's interesting about that,
because I
since you
played
mentioned
soccer
it.
at TCU.
I know this, and we interviewed David Rubinson, the former TCU coach.
The one that got fired for playing golf.
What?
That's a different story. We also interviewed Messiah Bright, one of
Messiah's
the
great.
best players to ever come out of
I'm
TCU.
sorry, she has no filter.
He really did get fired because he played golf all the time.
Kind
Well,
of amazing.
it worked out for his son, who's a professional golfer.
Yeah.
In any case, he and there's some nuance to that too. But anyway, whatever. It's so we do talk about the TCU program because the mother of one of the star players that's featured in there also played at TCU, a lady named Susan Misimo, maiden name Hinolka.
Yeah.
And so,
And then her daughter Lexi played at Texas, and so did Trinity. And,
yes.
now she plays for here, but she was one of the best players. Her daughter was one of the best players in the world.
So as you can see, this is already interesting to people, or at least to Ashley.
Well,
a lot going on.
covered her on Sports Stars of Tomorrow when I worked at Game Day.
Yeah. So anyways, we tell her whole story, and it's really fascinating because her dad is still the all-time leading goal scorer at North Carolina, but had nowhere to play when he got out of school in the 80s. There was no MLS.
Which was a very good men's soccer team, by the way, and women's.
Indeed. So anyway, so we trace the whole rise of how all that happened, and there's some really, I'd like to think, fascinating threads in there. So that's on Victory Plus. And then we also have a docu-series called the College Gridiron Showcase. And so the College Gridiron Showcase is an event similar to the Senior Bowl, but without the game.
Yeah.
Where you have draft prospects, but these are guys that aren't going to profile as like your first day picks, second day picks. These are guys that are going to go late rounds or undrafted free agents. And they have incredible backstories. And they're all in this one place. They do this in Fort Worth. And so we've made documentary content around their stories. And so those are now on Victory Plus as well. Also
yeah.
fascinating. If you're interested in sort of the evolution of the way football has changed since 2020, watch them in order.
Nice.
The boy's a go-getter.
I was going to say, that man, I've seen him with a camera at so many different places.
I have too.
And everything that I've seen from him is gold.
Yes, and he's a grinder too.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have guys out there with him. He shoots a lot of this stuff himself.
He's pretty much a one-man band. I know you have other people that you work with and collaborate.
Shout out to Dave French, who's
Yes.
my general partner in
he's great.
crime, who shoots lots of stuff. So
Well, what, Rush, in this wide, wild world of sports is making you twist off these days?
Wow, what a weird way to ask a question.
What's tickling your
that
pickle?
is going to be the first time that question has ever been asked to me, for
I feel
sure.
like that's
May
the
not be
first
the
time that
last.
question's been asked here in general.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Could you rephrase the question? No.
What's flipping your switch these
yeah.
days?
So
What grinds your gears?
Well, I'm certainly fascinated by what's happening in ice hockey. And the Stars made a move today. They moved their coach, and so to the unemployment line is where they moved it. And one thing I learned from working for teams is you never know the full story unless you know the full story, and sometimes even then you don't. Even members of the media who are very dialed in, a lot of times we don't know. Even those of us working in the front office a lot of times don't know all of it. So I don't pretend to know why. But One thing that I do say, and this probably comes from my sports background, is for Stars fans who are frustrated. You don't make a move like this unless there's some frustration there. Keep in mind where you are. All but 2 teams in the whole league would have traded places with you in a second.
Yes.
And you've had this incredible run of success, and it's winning a championship is hard.
Yeah.
Winning a game is hard. And so, you know, obviously you're going to have emotional reactions. That office just north of us has gone through a crazy few days, don't you know? And but I feel like things are still in a very good place. They still have a very talented roster and all that.
Yep, they do. I think what happened here is they came to the realization that DeBoer's grip on the team was starting to slip throughout the tournament. And in the last games, a couple things happened. I think the Ottinger thing was a really, really bad look. But I think what probably was worse than that and translated and played worse than that on the inside was the fact that they watched one of their best players get slashed. It should be an illegal play. That it should have been. There should have been far greater circumstances and far greater repercussions than there were. And nobody did anything. And DeBoer told them, don't retaliate. And I think of the game of hockey, as I understand it, and you're probably a little bit more familiar with the inner workings than me, but as I understand it, that's how coaches lose teams. That's how coaches lose players, and I think that's what happened here. And I think Jim Nill, a very, very savvy guy, very savvy general manager, best general manager we have working in the market right these days. I think he was savvy enough to realize that and figured he better get out in front of this thing.
I think that's all very plausible. You know, the Stars playoff run this year, one of the things it emphasized to me was that sports are bizarre.
Yeah.
And so you take the 3 rounds. First round, playing a very good Colorado team.
Yeah.
2 of the best players in the game are out hurt. You don't get to have them at all. You fight through it. You're gritty. Ottinger is maybe the best goalie in the playoffs at that point. And you figure out how to win that series. Now you go to Winnipeg, team that has been better than you all year, has been the best team in the league all year, President's Trophy. You barely get your injured guys back, and you fight through and you win that. And again, Ottinger, maybe the best goaltender in the playoffs, maybe earns himself the starting spot at the Four Nations next year, because keep in mind who he outplayed, Connor Hellebuck. And so then you have that, and then you get to the next series where you've got home ice advantage, and you don't play quite as well. And the guys that were scoring in the previous series don't. And the way you shut down McDavid and Draisaitl last year doesn't quite work the same. And with all of those, you just shrug your shoulders. And you're like, why does that happen? And to me, it's just the way sports work.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the randomness of hockey, which I think is easily the most random game of any of the big 4 that we deal with in our Fairburg.
That's fair.
But, yeah, it was very strange to see, but I think you got to give Edmonton a little bit of credit. The reality is Edmonton may just be a little bit better than the Stars are right now. The Stars, looking at their whole year, when the season first started, they were playing really well for the first, month, 6 weeks, couple months, something like that. And I was thinking, okay, we got a legitimate Stanley Cup contender on our hands here. And then they went into a little bit of a lull, but then toward the end of the season, they got things back together again. They made the trade for Rantanen, and a couple of other guys started taking a more prominent place in the scheme of things for them. And I started thinking, okay, I was right the first time. We got a legitimate Stanley Cup contender here. And for the first couple rounds of the playoffs, there was not much to deter one from that. But Edmonton came in here. Now, I don't know if they scouted better, if they were more hip to what the Stars were going to try and what they wanted to do, and they worked up ways to keep them from it, or they just have better players. I mean, you talk about McDavid and Draisaitl. You're talking about 2 of the best players in the league right there. But for whatever reason, it just all went south in the playoffs. And I'm bereft of for an explanation why.
Here's the thing: it didn't all go south in the playoffs. It all went south in the Edmonton series.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the
two
Edmonton
before
series.
that.
Yeah,
were like, this is why this team can win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they were.
In fact, they if I recall, they had the best betting odds after heading into the conference finals.
Yeah.
Well, and Edmonton, after having Skinner, their goalie, not play great early on, comes back and he's ridiculously hot. He's in a tree during our series. Again, randomness of sports, and especially, I've always said this, and this applies to any sport with a goalie. You're always at risk of getting upset in any sport with a goalie because the goalie can get hot. That applies to soccer, that applies to hockey, that applies to field hockey, that applies to lacrosse, that applies to any of that. If they stand on their heads, you got the danger of losing that game no matter how well you play.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happened here. I don't know where he ranks amongst NHL goalies. I don't think he's one of the really big names that you find or anything. You know, when you hear that conversation had by those who know these things, you don't hear his name mentioned too much. But boy, once he got rolling,
if the Oilers win 3 more games, you might.
Yeah, you might. That might all be changing. He might be the guy who stands to benefit most from this thing.
Yeah, I think Skinner was always kind of seen as the weak point on the Oilers, especially for a team like the Stars. It seemed like, okay, we might still have to let McDavid and Draisaitl score, but if we can at least just shoot on net against Skinner, then we're going to be okay.
Yeah, happy to win games 5-4.
Right.
Yep. And now it all comes down, and now they're looking for a new coach.
Who do you even get? Like, I don't know who's available at this point. Like, a lot of hirings have happened already. Like, any firings I feel like would have more or less happened by now, but I don't know.
There are some thoughts that they might promote from within. Keep in mind the Texas Stars are in the conference finals down there in the A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got a couple of assistants, guys on the bench that they are said to think favorably of.
I've seen the possibility of another previous Otter who was also number 29.
Yes, that's
Steve
right.
Ott floated as a possibility.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's definitely candidates. They're just not maybe the big names. Like, I did see, was it maybe Pierre Laviette? That was a possibility.
Yeah.
But I feel like the betting odds seem to be favoring, is it Neil Graham, I believe, with the Texas Stars? Seems to be favoring him, and then dark horse might be Steve Ott, which would be pretty fun at the least.
Well, there's one thing I know. If there's one guy out there who is not going to fall prey to the big name, that is Jim Nill, because that is not the way he rolls.
I think what you said earlier about him maybe being the best GM in the market, and hey, Chris Young's got a World Series.
He does.
There's it's not an obvious thing, but
And we got Jerry.
we 3 Super Bowls.
Did you like those?
I did like those. I still
hope you did very much.
But
What decade were those in?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I give him a pass. Winning Super Bowls is hard. This, by the way, this is a whole nother thread. But this is why I think leagues need to be really careful about expanding too much. And here's my theory on this. So, like, for instance, women's sports is having a great moment right now. WNBA is expanding. They're talking about expanding more. The Women's Professional Hockey League that just started, they're expanding, things like that. And it's a relatively new league. You look at how fast MLS has grown and how Major League Soccer has expanded. One thing you have to remember is when you expand and you have a league with 32 teams, that's at least 31 teams that are going to go 31 years without a title. There's another team there's at least one team in there that's going to go 31 years. There's another team in there that's going to go at least 30 years, 29, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that is great about the way the Europeans do this, and the NBA is trying to do this, by the way, is they have these in-season cup competitions. So now, if you're in one of those leagues, there's 4 chances that you could come away with some hardware. Tottenham and Chelsea were not good in the league this year in the Premier League, but guess what? Chelsea won the Europa League. They got hardware.
I personally think we should go with relegation.
That would be kind of awesome.
I love relegation.
Kick the Cowboys' ass out of the league and all that.
No, you have to
I'd
be the
down.
last in the league.
I know.
But I think relegation's the answer.
I'm not a fan of relegation.
Are you impressed with Shotty? As we sveltly segue into something else.
Nice.
He obviously did not want to talk about Premier League soccer.
No, I didn't.
It was more of a general comment.
He was making
Yeah.
a point.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Explain what I should be impressed about.
Do you think he's the right guy for the job? Are you impressed with what you've seen of him so far?
Do you like the culture change that
Is he-
apparently is happening?
Is he saying the right things? Because I got to tell you, I kind of am.
I don't necessarily consider myself qualified to comment. I think what is going to
You don't get out of that here.
what I think is the hardest part about winning in the NFL is not even necessarily the head coach. It's the salary cap. And so I am because, and we have seen this with the Cowboys, and this, by the way, feeds into your thought about Jim Nill. Don't get me wrong, coaches matter, culture matters, schemes matter, all of that.
Sure.
But salary cap management, to me, is the most important thing, and it goes in the NFL maybe more than anywhere else. NHL might be second because they've got a hard cap too, but you can at least buy out players in there. The NFL has the most unforgiving cap in sport.
Yeah.
And so what it happens is if you give a guy a lot of money and he gets hurt, this happened with Dak last year. It's happened with many other clubs. It's not so much that he got hurt; it's what's behind him. And if you haven't managed your salary cap right and you don't have depth, you've got problems. And that was one of the Cowboys' big problems last year. And don't get me wrong, injuries are random. They're going to happen, and it's certainly a sport like football where it's a collision sport.
Right.
So, to me, yes, I think Brian Schottenheimer might do great. He might be super, and his hands might be tied because no matter what he does, you might have management issues.
Oh, yeah. You can only do so much.
And that's why sorry to jump back to the Stars again. That's why what Jim Nill has done is so brilliant, because he has managed to create a situation where he can sign Amico Ratton to that contract. But they've done such a good job of drafting, they've done such a good job of developing at the AHL level that he can fill in less expensive players.
Yeah.
A Wyatt Johnston being an example, a Logan Stankoven before you dealt him to get Ram.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
I
to me, it's a
guess
big
in the end game, to the Cowboys, what is important to them is what they see on the field that day, that game, right now. To the Stars, yeah, what's on the ice is important, but there's a whole lot of other stuff going on down below that none of us think about, none of us hear about, none of us read about unless you really, really dig for it, unless you're really, really into it. But to the day tripper, it's not important. To them, it is ultra important. It's all about priorities.
Yeah, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, there have been years when the Cowboys did a fantastic job managing their salary cap. And they were among the early pioneers in figuring out how this bonus system would work.
Yeah.
And they could front load things, and that has a big reason to do why they won that third Super Bowl in the Jones era. You think of the contract they signed Dion to. He comes in, he has a great year. Now, it hurt him down the road because they had this dead money.
Yeah. And they knew it would.
And they knew it would, but, as noted earlier, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. And they got that one. They got that extra one.
Yeah. They got 3 of them. When will the next one be?
Not in my lifetime.
You think?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think you'll see one.
Groups.
Who do you think will be running the Cowboys at that point?
Steven?
Okay.
I mean, succession's succession, right?
Right.
I mean,
Just saying it might be Spalding at that point.
They
It might
could
be
just-
Spalding.
they could just have a bunch of bad times, and then all of a sudden they win, and everybody else stinks. So because everybody else stinks, they're really good.
Here's one thing about the Cowboys I'm really curious about this year. If something happens like that to Dak again, I was very interested in the move they made for Joe Milton.
This is where the scouting department earns their money.
Yes. Now, for those who may not know this, you probably do, but for those who may not, he's going to be the backup quarterback to Dak. And you may be thinking, well, big deal. If Dak goes down, what's a backup quarterback going to do? Well, historically, in years past, probably very little. And that's no knock on Cooper Rush, who did the best that he could last year. But Joe Milton is, he's not Cooper Rush. If Joe Milton comes in, he's coming in to win the game. He's coming in to make plays. He's not going to be a caretaker. There's not going to be just throw short passes and run the football. He can move. He can throw the ball deep. He's a completely different animal than anything we've ever seen at backup quarterback for this team before.
If it were up to me, we would have signed number 10 to a lifetime contract. Because I just got for Christmas a Cowboys T-shirt with the name Rush on the back.
Aw.
I'm sorry,
brother.
little buddy.
Just real disappointment for me.
It's a tough thing.
Do we need to sit down for a Whopper Jr. for you?
That's a double Whopper with cheese blow, man.
Oh. he needs the big boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is where you hope your pro scouting group did their job.
Yeah.
And again, it's not just whether Milton's a better player than Cooper Rush. It's is Milton a better value than Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
And of course, a quarterback, you kind of have to, maybe devote more of your precious salary cap dollars to that position than
I
some
mean,
others.
when you talk about quarterbacks, all of that's relative, But clearly, they got together and said, look, if this happens again next year and Dak gets hurt, which in the game of pro football as we know it, that's very, very possible. They said, if that happens again, we got to have somebody who can come in here and win us a game. And I don't know if they call the Patriots or just how this came about, but they got somebody who can come in and not be just a caretaker, get you through the game into the next week. I mean, this guy can do some stuff.
Definitely seems like a guy that can play.
Well, and I think, to me, when you're managing your roster, you're thinking about winning a Super Bowl. Like, that's your goal. That's winning divisions is good. Winning games is good and all that. And so what you have to say is this a guy that if worst came to worst, can he be Earl Morrall? Remember when Johnny Unitas got hurt and Earl Morrall came in and got the Colts to the Super Bowl?
Yes,
Same
sir.
thing. Bob Greasy got hurt. Earl Morrall was that guy.
Earl Morrall did it twice.
This is somebody you need. This is what you need. You need the Earl Morrall.
Yeah. Somebody who can at least come in and play and let you be aggressive the way you would if your starter was still in there.
Are we beating Groobs down with Earl Morrall talk?
No, I love it.
Okay.
I told you, I love sports history. I don't know all of it, but I love hearing people that do know it talk about it.
Tell you something else about Earl Morrall.
Do it.
He had a crew cut.
Like,
High and tight.
High and tight, man. He had a crew cut.
That's wonderful, Shoopy.
Very stylish back then, too.
Oh, yeah. Little dippity-doo in it.
Dippity-doo didn't exist. It was probably Vitalis or Brill Cream.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. See, I'm not a hair historian either.
have y'all seen Grooves' new hair?
It's there. I'm wearing a headset.
Well, let's
and a
see
hat.
it. Let's
Okay.
see it. Look at that. Look
Wow.
at that.
Yeah.
All the curls gone. All the
It was getting a little crazy throughout the Stars playoff run. Like I was already kind of growing it out, but then when the playoffs hit, it's like, well, I got to keep the playoff beard and all that going, and started to have like feathers and everything was all crazy. And so, day after the Stars won, I told Shoopy, I'm cutting it down.
This might have almost caused a pre-marriage argument between him and Darcy, though.
Yeah, Darcy does like my hair a little longer, so I'm working on already growing that back out. She said, look, you can whack the beard down as much as you want, but got to have the longer hair. So as long as I can grow it, I got to go for it again.
Darcy's
The
sad.
playoff beard is something I enjoy about the National Hockey League playoffs, especially the wheels-off playoff beard.
Yes.
The one where guys know they have to grow it because otherwise the room will give them a hard time.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the wherewithal to do so.
Super patchy and
Yeah.
just mangy looking.
Yep. Feel bad for them, but
Yeah.
I'm still amused by it.
Yeah, we can't all grow our beards like him.
True.
Or you.
True.
Yeah, look at that.
I was going to
Yeah.
say.
You've been rolling with this for some time now.
He has.
You want to hear the story of the beard?
I'd
Yes.
love to.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, do you call it a beard?
Yeah, or a goatee. I mean, that's
Okay.
the way most refer to it.
Okay.
It started in 2009 when I was at the Rangers. And so it was a function of three things.
Alcohol?
Not directly.
Okay.
Because this, like if I cut it all off, that could be easily the function of alcohol. Or if I got a tattoo of a beard, that could be a function of alcohol. The beard itself takes a little longer to grow, so unless you're on like a 2-week bender, that wouldn't be a cause.
Fair point.
So there were three things going on. One, I had just broken up with a girlfriend, and it was like what the heck, I'm going to do something different, all right? Because that happens, all right?
Yeah.
The second thing was I was, at the time at the Rangers were having some front office turnover. And there were new people coming in that were VPs in charge of things and stuff like that. And
Who owned the thing back then?
that was right before the Nolan Ryan group took over, so it was Tom Hicks's group that still owned it.
Okay.
Right before the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Which was a brutal experience, but whatever. So anyway, and there were people there that didn't know me and didn't know my skill set. And so I felt like I was perceived as the guy that knew how to set up the sound system because we'd do events. I was really we had much smaller staff the Rangers had back then. There was no Rev Entertainment or anything like that. So, you know what? Somebody needed to make sure the sound system was working well. All right, I knew how to do that. I do that. So my concern was I was not perceived as the creative guy, which is what I needed to be perceived as. I was perceived as a guy who knew how to set up the sound system. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to change up the look a little bit, rebrand. And so that was part of it. And then the third reason was at the time I was in a band and I felt like I didn't look like I was in a band and I needed something. I needed something to look more like I was in a band.
You needed some edge?
I did. I needed some edge. And so that was the reason. And so then it became sort of a signature, and now I can't ever get rid of it. Not that I want to.
All right, well, what kind of band, what kind of instruments or position did you play?
So I was the singer and the bass player.
Nice.
For a band at the time called Loaded Dimes.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles?
Hell yeah.
So there's a scene in Blazing Saddles where the outlaws are headed toward Rock Ridge, and Sheriff Bart comes up with a delaying tactic. He puts a toll booth up out in the desert.
Yes.
And the outlaws ride up to it, and Slim Pickens, who's leading the outlaws, blames the governor, and he goes, what'll that a-hole think of next? Somebody's got to go back and get an S-load of dimes. So we just cut the swear word off the front of it, and we named the band Loaded Dimes.
That is awesome.
And so we put out a record. The only record we put out was called 10-Cent Instant Rebate. And when you got it, we had actually affixed an actual dime to the inside of the CD. And we called it 10-Cent Instant Rebate.
Wow.
What kind of music did 10-Cent
all over the map.
Rebate play?
So the people in that band, we had played in a blues band prior to that called Big Cookie and the Crumbs. Because we had a lead guitar player named Big Cookie.
Yeah.
It was Big Cookie and the Crumbs. So I was a crumb. And so it was bluesy, rocky country. And then there was a punk song on that record. It was just kind of all over the map.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you grew this for that.
Yeah.
And you've kept it ever since.
Ever since.
Wow. Stands out. Like, it's funny, though, because I would not have guessed 2009 as the starting point. Because I feel like I've known you longer than that, or at least known of you, and I cannot imagine you with anything else but that beard.
I honestly look at photos of myself as an adult prior to that, without it, and they honestly look a little weird.
Kind of jarring?
Yeah, because I had, before that, for a while, I had like more of a sort of a traditional goatee, and like if you took the sides off of Mike here, that's what I had.
We should do that.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
think
do
I
it,
should
Chewy.
take the sides off.
You could auction that off for charity. The opportunity to shape Mike's beard however you want.
How about we offer it as a sponsorship package?
Man.
Sponsorship
Yeah.
package. Somebody,
Yeah.
some barber group might buy into that.
It's going to be a tier for $50,000. Shave Mike's beard.
You know,
Live.
I'm in yes mode these days, but only up to a point.
Oh, come on.
Here's the thing about
he has
beards,
a very
Mike. They
good
grow
beard
back.
whacker.
Now, when she wants to add a tier of getting the sponsor's logo tattooed on your butt, that might be where you draw the line.
We don't do Jeff Kavanaugh bits over here.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That was a great bit, though. Jeff still has a 0 on his butt.
It's a
I know it's a
tattoo.
tattoo, but that still makes me happy to think about, seeing him talk all serious about the Cowboys or whatever. And it's like, there's a 0 on his butt right as he's speaking.
with the Texas Ranger
Which
logo.
is one of the many reasons I love Cavs.
One of many. That was a great, great day.
I
He was broadcasting from just some random table that we had. I think that was just out behind the control room, and just every now and then he's trying to talk serious sports, but then you hear like a little moan because
Yeah.
it was hurting him. Because I don't think he's got any other tattoos.
Nope, that's it.
So that was his first one, and that's a hell of a place to put one, I
You
would
said that with authority.
She did like she knew.
Yeah.
Because I had to go back and rewatch the whole thing and cut it up for Jeff's social media post from iHeart. So I had to look at like 4 hours of Jeff's butt.
Some people dream of that.
That's
Not
right.
me.
Some people do. Some can
so
think
much
of fewer
respect.
things better than
Yeah,
that.
that's a treat for some.
I bet there's some ladies out there that think Jeff's butt's great
Yeah.
because he's 6'3" and that's that. As his dating profile says.
He's toned. Yeah.
So has anybody suggested to you that you back off of the beard look or anything?
My barber did actually a couple of times. She was like, but whatever. She gets to cut the rest of my hair. She doesn't get to mess with that.
Yeah.
My nieces, when they were little, used to braid it.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
really?
Yeah,
I feel
How
like we
much
should
maintenance
braid
does
it
that
now.
thing take?
almost zero.
I kind of figured. I figured you can let it go for a while and just trim it up and good to go again.
Yeah, exactly. Usually, if you see it shorter, it's usually because I had an important meeting with somebody that was actually respectable.
Yeah.
That's what
how
I
I got to
use.
tell you, I hadn't seen you in a while before today, and when you showed up with it still in place, I found it a little bit jarring, I must tell you. I mean, not that I'm not used to it, but like I say, we hadn't seen each other in a while, and I figured that you might be going in another direction, but no, you're
That's
staying
the point
true
of it,
to
though, isn't it, Mike?
It is.
Edgy.
Yes,
It's
that's
edgy.
right.
It pushed you out of your comfort
It
zone.
did. It did.
That's good branding.
That's right. I fell prey to your edginess.
Mm-hmm.
Women appreciate commitment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Look how she just added to my brand.
Right?
Uh-huh. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I came on here.
Just to talk about the
Yeah,
beard
I'm sure you have a lot
Get
of
some ladies
Yeah,
to-
exactly.
Yeah, we'll monitor the comments
Yeah.
section.
No,
right.
I'm angling for the mom game for that.
Dun dun dun.
Nice.
Let's get into this. Now, you told me when we were talking on the phone a little earlier that you're more involved in the business
Sure.
side of sports these days. What is the business of sports like? I know that's a very far-flung, all-encompassing question, but is it good? Is it not what it used to be, or is it improving? Is it sliding away, or what's it doing?
It is very good right now. So yeah, if you were going to ask me to give an overview of the business of sports, it would be that.
Which is what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's actually the most direct question you've asked.
I know.
Good work, good interviewing skills. So it's doing very well. And so one of the ways we're seeing that is through TV viewership. And so one of the things we notice about the TV landscape right now is it's very fragmented.
Yes.
Keep in mind when we were growing up, if you were going to make a video, it was going to be on one of 4 TV stations, or no one was going to ever see it.
Right.
And you probably weren't even going to make it. And so then you had cable TV, and now you've had the streaming revolution and stuff like that. And so one of the things that has done is it has fragmented non-sports programming, scripted programming. I read the other day that it was like an all-time low, other than during the pandemic, for scripted series on major networks this fall. I
read something about that the other day, too.
Well,
Yeah, see?
And so what we're seeing is, and the reason for that is, and also advertising share for those sorts of things is lower as well.
Right.
And so what's happened is people can DVR things, they can stream them at their convenience, they can choose on demand what they're going to watch, things like that. And so the ability of a single scripted show to command a large audience has been reduced, because it used to be you didn't have choices like YouTube and Victory Plus and things like that, and now you do. One thing that has avoided a lot of that fragmentation is sports, because it is live. You don't DVR it. You don't skip it because it's going to happen there. And so that has played well for networks looking for viewership, and it has also played well for advertisers because, again, harder to skip ads in a live program. So that's why sports in general is trending, is because it continues to command this large audience.
Yeah.
Another factor that's good for the business of sports is women's sports. So women's sports has been trending up a lot. And it hasn't really been trending up at the expense of men's sports. it's just been trending up.
Yeah.
And so for those of us who love sports and would like to find, would choose sports to watch of any kind, I've got to the point now where gender has absolutely nothing to do with what sport I pick to watch. I'm interested in the things I'm interested in all sports for, storylines, who's going to win or lose, things like that. And so that's raised all boats in a lot of ways, because now you've got a lot more to choose from, and there's a lot more places for sponsors to put their dollars. While a lot of women's sports fans are men, keep in mind it's brought a ton of women into the sports fandom.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily just going to stick with women's sports. Once you get interested in sports, you're in. So I think that has had a lot to do with raising all boats.
I agree with you on all points except one. And I'm very proud of this fact.
Can't wait.
The last 2 nights, I have successfully practiced the theory of avoidance.
What do you
You
mean?
know what this is, Shooping?
I do, but I want you to say it.
Okay. Whenever there are like playoff games or a game that I want to watch, but I can't, I DVR it. And then in the interim of time between when that game starts and when I'm able to watch it, I have to avoid finding out what happened. And I've successfully done this in the last 2 nights with hockey the night before last and last night, the NBA Finals.
So proud of you, Mike.
And how difficult was it?
Not very difficult at all. I did have one close call last night because I got out my phone and see the phone will kill the theory of avoidance. I got out my phone and I started looking at it and I saw something come up very quickly about Indiana, and I got to the end part of it, put it down. So it was a successful execution.
Right, because it could have been IndyCar racing, but it could have been the final score.
Yeah.
Could have been. It was a successful execution of the theory of avoidance, back to back, no less.
That's impressive.
Yes, it is.
I would have a theory. Now, you are probably much more digitally savvy than many your age. But I bet it's even harder for digital natives, because digital natives are so dialed into that stuff. Like,
Like how?
Well, like, yeah, you probably get some alerts on your phone and things like that,
Yeah.
but it might not be as big a part of your normal life. You may not hit all your friends' Instagrams all the time. I don't know what your average screen time is, but I bet it's lower than a lot of people in some other demos.
You'd be surprised.
I was going to say, I feel like
and
his screen time is strong.
Mine's pretty
It's
high
just-
too, and I think that has a lot to do with the business we work in, right?
Yeah.
We have to. we have
That's
to be
what I
dialed
tell
in.
myself.
I feel like we should look at everybody's screen time while we're sitting
man.
here.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's see.
Come on. Look at your screen time.
I
Live
put my
right
phone
now.
over there.
All right.
I don't have it handy.
All right.
He's lying to us. He doesn't want us to know his screen time is 22 hours of the
It
day.
actually wouldn't be you that wouldn't want to know. It'd be me. I don't want to know how much time I spend on there.
How do you find it, Shooping?
And my problem is that I'm addicted to my laptop is what I'm addicted to. I certainly use my phone a good bit. But in my business, I do a lot of script writing. I do a lot of things like that. I am on my phone all the time.
So
Daily average, a cool 10 hours and 54 minutes.
Holy,
That's-
really, Michael?
that's half a day.
That does make
I
your
thought
avoidance strategy impressive.
I'm at a lot, and I'm at 5 hours and 22 minutes.
That's it?
yeah.
Look, I'm not proud of that.
You know what,
like
though? I'm
Monday I
actually
hit
really
7.5.
impressed.
I don't know. Like it's a lot, but
That's because I spend so much time just looking for shit.
I'm very
Looking
impressed
for stuff to
by
come on here and
Bruce.
talk about. You
I was
know?
gonna say Shoopy is great about, like, he'll randomly send me some New York Times article he read, or just some funny thing. Like, he'll even every now and then give me a Reddit link. Like,
Oh, dang.
how the hell did he find that?
I do that all the time. I'm notorious for sending that stuff to like business partners and things like that.
Yeah.
Here's an article. Here's something we need to know about, some industry trend.
But yeah, but it's definitely a thing every day. Like, I've got essentially a cycle of I immediately, will pull up Twitter, I'll go through Facebook, I'll go through Instagram, start to look through other, news websites, and just throughout the day, I don't want to miss anything, even though I'm talking, 3 times a week, and we're generally not super topical with our shows. It's more talking about stuff with a guest or
Yeah,
a friend and all
right.
that. But still, you have that monkey brain where you got to just know everything all the time right now.
I had that paranoia a lot when I used to. So I used to do cable TV play-by-play, and and this was in the pre-internet era, by the way. and it was hard. It was extra. There was no screen time, but man, you hated the idea. At least I did, and maybe you did this doing live radio. You hated the idea of getting put in a situation in a live event where you knew there was something you could have known and you didn't know it.
Yeah.
And you could have added
Hey,
something.
I hate it now.
Yes. Right.
I hate it now. I just don't like to be caught unawares.
Hence 10 hours of screen time a day.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I will pledge to the world that next week I will lower that 10 hours and 54 minutes by half an hour.
I think you should go the other direction.
Yeah.
I think you should aim to go
No.
up.
See
We
how,
don't want to
see how high you can get.
how far can you push it? Yeah, get those numbers up.
I view that as a service to the viewer.
Yeah.
The
I would
more
ap-
screen time you put in, the more incredibly interesting nuggets you can pass along.
I
right.
would
You
appreciate
know
it,
everything.
Mike.
That's what's behind the whole idea of it.
Mike, I have decided if you are going to make that number go up, it has to be through YouTube, Your Dark Companion only.
Okay. We got to get those numbers up too.
Yeah, we gotta get those numbers up.
All right, how do I do that?
So we're just
Well,
gonna
we'll
watch
show
Your
you.
Dark Companion on YouTube. Just keep watching.
There are also some really good documentaries on Victory Plus you could put some screen time
Yeah.
into, just saying.
We know someone that made them.
Yes. I'm sure we do. And I'm sure they are good.
If they're made by Rush, you know that they're good.
All right, I practiced the theory of avoidance on hockey 2 nights ago. I practiced it on basketball last night. I got home and I didn't know what had happened in the Oklahoma City, Indiana game. And I started watching it, and I got to tell you, for a good while, I was not exactly overwhelmed because Oklahoma City seems like a very, very prohibitive favorite. They are the darlings of the NBA right now, and with good reason. I mean, if you saw Oklahoma City play this year, it probably, likely as not, was pretty apparent that they seem to be the best thing out there. And then you have Indiana, the Pacers, an old ABA team coached by Rick Carlisle, and there's just nothing to get excited about there. And so the game starts, and I'm watching it in there, and they hang in there. I mean, Oklahoma City would run off, they'd jump out to a 6, 8, 9, sometimes double-figure lead, and then Indiana would always catch up. But they almost never went ahead of the game until the last.
When it really mattered.
And I want you to go through the last segment of this game because we were talking about this earlier today, and you did a absolutely fascinating wrap-up of what went on at the end of that game.
Well, yeah, and so first of all, to your point, given the way Oklahoma City has played really all year and how good they have been defensively, you didn't see them giving up a double-digit lead within a short span of time.
No.
So that was shocking. And my sister and I were watching, this is where I was, you're trying to flip between sporting events. So the college women's
Alex
help,
Caruso's a very nice player.
incredible player, great defensive player. He had help coming, and the clock was running down. So Halliburton really wasn't going to be able to make that pass anyway. So in hindsight, Caruso probably should have ran at the shooter. Would that have caused Halliburton to miss? Who knows? Halliburton's, he certainly hit,
Right.
with 2 hands in his face. But my guess is that between now and that game tomorrow, Alex Caruso is replaying that in his mind about 1 million times, and I feel bad for him.
Oh,
Well, that is a big, big win for the Pacers. And boy, Vacation Bible School was just shocked. Oh my gosh, they were bummed. As well they should have been.
hell yeah.
That's an amazing market for sports, by the way, for pro sports, because that's all they've got. And I remember, again, to date back to doing years of Central Hockey League play-by-play. Oklahoma City's Central Hockey League team outdrew the rest of the league by like double.
Really.
They averaged like 10,000 fans a game because that was the only pro sports in that town. And it's not the biggest market, but it's not a small market. And so that was why the AHL went in there, and then there was a movement to try to get an NHL team there. And during one of the '90s rounds of expansion, and I knew a guy who knew a guy. If that had happened, this might be all different. I might have gone up there, but anyway. And then they get the Oklahoma City Thunder, and so of course they
have a
support
AAA
them like
baseball team,
nuts.
too.
They have a AAA baseball team, which is also well supported.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's been there a long time. Nice ballpark. But at the highest level, they've got this one team, and so they turn out. If it is Oklahoma City Thunder, it is a thing in that town.
I'm sure it is. It is the thing in that town. And they got a good team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're like I say, the darlings of the NBA this year.
May I call attention to Mike's shirt?
Yes.
Mike
yeah.
has your glasses are blocking.
Nope.
He loves his ABA shirts.
Yeah, I mean, this is an American Basketball Association shirt, the Denver Rockets.
That's amazing.
He wore his Houston Mavericks shirt on Friday.
Strong.
I collect as many ABA T-shirts as I can find.
Great bit.
That's got to be your next Christmas present, ABA shirts.
All right.
Let's see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'll take
Try
it.
it out. So, do you have a Virginia Squires? That'd be one
No,
would
I have no Virginia Squires gear.
That'd be something
I'd
I
love
would want.
that.
Because George Gervin played for that team. Julius
Yes.
Irving played for that team.
That's right.
Charlie Scott played for that team.
They were big time back then. But so are the Denver Rockets. They were really good too. You know them today as the Nuggets. They're one of the 4 that made the trip or made the conversion from the ABA to the NBA. The NBA, when they put the ABA out of business, they took 4 of their teams with them as they were. And one was the Denver Rockets. But to do this, they had to change their name because there was already a Rockets in the NBA. So, hence the Nuggets.
There you go.
Well, and that's one of the things that's fascinating about this year's finals is the Pacers have never won an NBA title, but they won 3 in the ABA.
They were dominant in the ABA. They were the Yankees or the Cowboys of the ABA.
They were, and they had George McGinnis on that team, Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, bunch of really good players in that era. And I was fascinated by the conference finals because I said to somebody, if they were playing this game in 1970, it would be completely fascinating, or 1973, because at the time the Knicks were the best team in the NBA, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed.
Yep.
The Pacers were the best team in the ABA, and of course they hadn't merged yet, so those teams would never play, but that would have been a fascinating series.
And ever since the playoffs started, I've been waiting for the Pacers to get knocked out, and it has not happened yet. And after that game last night, man, they are really feeling it. It is series on here.
I have friends that root for both, or that work for both teams that I like, so I'm a little neutral in it, but it wouldn't hurt me to see the Pacers win.
Well, I don't have a rooting interest particularly. I just root for the good game, the way I always do.
Which we got in game 1.
Which we got in game 1.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Rangers since it's Rangers night here at Ryder's Field.
All right, that's a svelte segue.
It was.
Thank you. I try.
Very, very disappointed in this thing. Every time I think that there may be signs of a turnaround, I see that no, it was a mirage. And there are no signs of a turnaround. And the thing that just irritates me to no end is this. What's the one thing we all bitch about every year when it comes to the Rangers? What is the one universal, forever Achilles heel they have?
Since 1982.
Since 1982.
72.
72.
No, 1982, because they had good pitching in 82. Remember Mike Smithson won the ERA title?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Since
saying.
then, it's pitching. And this year, what do they have?
Pitching.
Out the wazoo.
Yes. And not just average pitching. They got excellent pitching. They run out 4 starters out there, and you expect a good game from all 4. The 5th one's not too bad. The 5th one, any team out there would be glad to have him. But what's the one thing that they're always able to do? Hit. And now they got great pitching, and they can't hit. And nobody knows why.
But it's got to be exhausting for the pitchers knowing, okay, if I give up 1 run, I'm screwed. Or probably screwed.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go out there and pitch a shutout. And even then, you may barely win.
Yeah.
So I will say, here's the flip side of that coin. They are not hitting right now. They do have hitters on this roster with a track record.
They do.
nobody's run away with the division yet. Nobody's even run away with the wild cards at this point. So,
Yep, it's worth mentioning we are only a third of the way through the season.
and so the idea that Marcus Semien is going to hit the way he's hit the first part of the year, you know, his track record indicates he will get better.
He's starting to come around a little.
He did.
He's
He has-
batting cleanup tonight,
Yeah.
which
and-
might also say something about the team, but more than him. But still, it's neat.
Yeah, well, and they got a couple prospects they just called up that could contribute. There are, you know, I mean, I don't. Frustrating, yes. Give up. I don't think it's time to give up yet.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just maddening the way the two forces have reversed this year. You know.
I agree, because we all went through that where we had. I mean, the years that I worked for the Rangers were 2000 through 2012, and so the middle part of that was exactly what Mike is talking about. We had a very difficult time getting pitching, and we had a lot of good hitters, and we mashed the baseball, and we couldn't pitch. And what was especially hard, what was frustrating then, is we were talking about roster management a bit earlier. You know, one of the things that I would do periodically is help with free agent pitches. We would put together a video saying, here's why you ought to come here.
Yeah.
Most successful one I ever did of those was the Dallas Stars in 2003 when we signed Scott Young, Bill Guerin, and Philippe Boucher. That was super fun. I still have an autographed Bill Guerin jersey that the front office gave me after that because it was so exciting. Anyway.
Was it the Mooterus?
No, this was pre-Mooterus,
I
thank
thought so.
goodness. But we would do those for pitchers especially, and we would do these nice presentations and things like that, and people just didn't want to pitch here. We could offer more money, we could do a great sales pitch, and they just didn't want to pitch here because of the ballpark and the heat. And it was occasionally something else, but usually it was that, and that is one of the things that was very frustrating for us back then is, and you know, love the old stadium, of course, and obviously we proved that you could win there because that happened in 2010 and 2011.
Yep.
But that is one thing that the Rangers have an advantage at now is they've got a pretty neutral park that plays reasonably neutral, and that's no longer an obstacle. And plus, you've now got a history of winning. You've got a World Series 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm bummed, but I do think there's hope to turn it around.
You know, people always ask me, what do I think about the new ballpark? I happen to love it. But I tell them, really, when you get down to the bones of the thing, what it is really a makeover for the one thing they didn't get right on the Temple. And I don't know why they didn't get it right. Maybe the technology wasn't there. Maybe it was just too much money. But it's the one thing that they didn't do there. And they did it here, and now it's you go out there and you do so knowing that you're not going to be sitting in a pool of sweat for at least 7 innings.
I was, obviously, having worked for the front office, I knew a lot of people there. When they built that, the two people I felt the most happy for were the mascot
Absolutely.
and Emily Jones,
Yes.
who was doing the most of the sideline reporting at the time. Because I don't know if you remember this. So first of all, the mascot, obviously, man, those folks are troopers. They would get out there in that heat. It's the same thing out here.
Oh, gosh,
and,
yeah.
and they fight through that, and they perform and all that. So props to all mascots everywhere who perform outdoors like that. But then Emily would be stationed down in that dugout, and I don't know if you remember this, but when she was pregnant, Nolan Ryan, who was the president of the team at the time, noticed Emily is fighting through this, and he got a cover put there where she could go and where she could go down into the suite and cool off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy Nolan was. Nolan was a great guy to work for.
Right.
But, yeah, so anyway, those were the two people that I felt the most happy for when they built that stadium.
Well, where does this leave us?
We're right on time. Good job.
Nice.
We
Nailed
are.
it. Good job,
Time to
Shoopy.
get out of here.
Do you want me to give you some baseball motivation for the Rangers?
Oh,
And
course.
June 2nd of 2014, the Kansas City Royals were the worst team in baseball, and they went to the World Series that year. They won the next year. So
she's right.
2003 A's, too. Remember that run with
Oh,
Tejada?
yeah.
Proof that this thing's not over yet. The start has not been good. There are some problems here, but this thing is not over yet. There's a long way to go.
Look how we turned Mike to a positive. He was real negative when this segment started. Now he's kind of got a little smile. He's
Yeah.
thinking, yeah, we can do this. We got this.
That's kind of our goal with him every day.
Yeah.
Starts off negative and trying to build.
It's all that
something
screen
positive.
time. It's the internet curtain.
I know.
Plays in his mind.
It's a lot of
No,
doom scrolling.
It is a lot of doom scrolling. 10 hours every day.
I want it to be
half.
12 hours, and 2 of those hours have to be watching YDC on YouTube.
There you go.
Fair.
I thought you were going to say you have to be watching porn.
You can't watch a lot of porn right now in Texas, but we won't discuss that today.
No, let's not. Rush, been a pleasure having you, my man.
Thank you for having me. This is super
Thank
fun.
you, Rush. That was a blast.
We will be calling on you for further YDC appearances if you're all right with that.
I would be very all right with that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, everybody who's been wandering by here, looking at us and going, man, what are those guys doing?
Everybody
in
keeps
there?
saying, "Oh my God, it's the old gray wolf."
was
You
gonna
had
say,
a whole group of people out
We
here a
had
few
an
minutes
audience.
ago.
I did?
Yes.
But yeah, I literally could hear people through my headphones saying, "That's the old gray wolf."
And even if you didn't, no one here can see it, so we may as well just say it like it did. Wow, look at that line, Mike.
I mean, there was
Literally-
like 50 people just standing
That
in front
is-
of our table.
We cannot see the field right now.
There's some players in that line.
They're lying. They're lying. There's nobody out there. Nobody.
I see
Nobody is
one,
looking at me
three.
right now. Which is
I
the way
see
it should
3
be.
people.
Someone just turned around and looked at you when you said no one was looking at you.
Nobody's looking at me.
Whatever.
All right, thank you, Riders. It's Rangers night out here tonight. The Riders against the Springfield Redbirds.
Or Cardinals. One of the two.
Something like
We're
that.
not totally sure.
It's
Which
Cardinals.
is it? Oh, it's Cardinals?
Cardinals.
I thought it was Redbirds.
I told y'all this
I messed up and
beforehand.
got
Oh,
confused. I think
okay.
one of their other teams is named Redbirds.
All right.
It's a whole thing.
Well, Springfield is here. How about
Yeah.
that?
There you go.
All right. So that'll do it for us. Thank you for watching Your Dog Companion. If you like what we're doing, support our sponsors. Support CBD Warehouse and all those good people.
CBD House of Healing.
Yeah, CBD House of Healing, all those good people. And for God's sake, support us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a like. Give us a share. Get word out there about us. We'll do better. We promise.
Retweet.
Retweet. Retweet like crazy.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Or we
Find
just
us on YouTube.
I'm
Find
going
us
to go
on
do that
wherever,
right now and
wherever we-
increase my screen time.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
My screen time's going up because I'm going to go spend more time
Yeah.
with YDC.
At least
we
2
just-
hours a week. Right there.
All right.
Are we
there you
just
go.
saying random things right now to get people to talk to go places for us?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
See what they'll do.
Yes, that's right.
Love us.
Yeah.
Yes, love us. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dog Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.